Well, hi. This is sort of catch as you can, kind of a video recording. I'm sitting here in Tauranga, New Zealand, and it's quite lovely. I recommend it. And there's a long story that would lead me to get to Tauranga, New Zealand. Um, when we leave here, we'll be going back to Thailand, where our home base is. And then we're going to be in Japan, middle of the summer. It'll be hot. And then who knows? Our life, my life, has been that way for the last 11 years. Um, and I've only done one YouTube recording before, and it was 11 years ago, give or take. And I was offered an opportunity to apply for an internship in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And I was in a position where one job had ended, and I was going to have to go back to Idaho, where I had a better group of people that I could count on, to help find work again. And I got this invitation, and part of the process, and this was to be an intern with one of the larger, more successful internet marketer guys. Um, so I just thought I better, someone. This is a message from somewhere. You know how that feeling goes. And if I walk away from this opportunity, it'd be pretty silly, because I was actually, I was at an age, and I'll get to ages here in a second, where I was feeling some ageism. I was competing against 25 to 30-year-olds in the marketing and advertising field, and that, if I knew people, they'd listen to me, and if there was an opportunity, they might hire me or use me for freelance. But it was a little thin. So going back to a market where I was better well known, that was my next step. So I had to do a YouTube video, and I had never done one. And so I put it together. It was quite an ordeal, but I got it together and I sent it off, and I was given the opportunity. I was one of four people, two from Australia, one from somewhere, and England actually, and then me. I had 2 to 3 weeks to get things tied up and go for 2 months to Chiang Mai, Thailand. That video that I recorded for that has never seen the light of day. It exists, I think. I'll probably share it at some point. So anyway, the thing to Thailand was 11 years ago. I was at the time 62 years old, and I figured, well, it could get limiting after a while. But I went to Chiang Mai, and it was an existential, full-blown, three-dimensional experience. I felt like the old me, the one that had energy and interest and desire to live a better life, and all of it. And so I came back home, sold my condo, sold my car, sold my stuff except the few things I put into storage, packed up my suitcase, and went back. All the things that were in place for going back didn't all hold up, but I didn't care. I was as happy as I had been in quite some time. So the last 11 years have been pretty much slow traveling the world, to be honest. A combination of freelancing, with people I knew already, online freelancing, house sitting, copywriting, and having some retirement funds as well. And we've traveled. Oh, and I met a woman from Europe who has changed my life dramatically, and in a good way. I'm healthier than I would have been. Um, we have been, well, we started, in Thailand. That's where we met, and and then I went to Bali while she went to Vietnam, to Hanoi, and we just had lunch, and then we, after our separate trips, we came back together and realized that there was a good connection here. We've been lots of places, lots of great places, and got made income along the way just as needed, to live a fairly good life without a whole lot of expense. And I see myself doing these videos. I have a lot to share. Back in Alaska, where I was raised, I well, I washed cars first. I was a manager of a thing called Dairy Queen that doesn't exist anymore much. Um, uh, then I got a job as working for an engineering firm, and ended up doing inspecting buildings, inspecting roads. In fact, I was an inspector on the famous Trans-Alaska Pipeline project for a while before I became a Teamster. And I did the inspection work without having one credit of engineering studies. Right place, right time. It was a fun time to be young in Alaska, because a lot of things were happening. The money was coming in because of the pipeline, and it was just, exploding in a good way mostly. Money brings problems too. And at that point, between high school and college and working for this engineering firm, a friend and I went to Europe, and ended up in a car wreck. It laid me up in a hospital for 6 weeks. My whole left side was pretty mashed up. And people thought I wouldn't travel again. I did. It took me about 2 years to come to Australia to see a friend who was living in Australia at the time. And then, anyway, moving forward, I guess the whole point of this conversation is I've had a life that is unusual. Many starts and stops and flows to different areas. And I'm thinking I might have something to say and share. I do a lot of writing now, and I'm also finding that the writing has helped me. So I'm 72 years old now, and I'm grateful for the health that I have, very much so. But I know that my use of language just in everyday life isn't enough to keep the intellect trucking. So I've been doing a lot of writing, and I'm finding that it's coming back to me, and it just makes me feel great. And I'm thinking this process of doing YouTube videos and sharing hints and advice and just whatever's happening in the world during the day might just get me into a groove that would make me feel healthier, more connected, and helpful. So if this rings a bell for you, if it somehow, this guy might have something that I could use or be interested in, then there'll be more of these. I still haven't come up with a name of this. It could be The Good Life After 60. You know how those things go. Or we'll see. Anyway, my name's Eric, and I hope to see you again. And as this thing goes forward, I can see me doing a lot of sort of not daily, well, maybe daily, 10 to 15 minute videos at the longest. I find that many of the ones that go longer really aren't telling you things that they couldn't tell you in a fewer words, even though I'm rambling here today. There could be courses at the back end. There could be, I don't even know. I'll take my guidance from the people who see me on YouTube, and if they desire to learn something, I'll either share it right away or build something that they can use to guide them. The jury's out on how that's going to go. So if you made it here, thanks for coming, and hopefully see you soon.